student likely you need to understand some basics. So first of all, tell me basics of this one, students. Erythropoiesis or hemopoiesis. Yes. Tell me hemopoiesis. Production of all types of cells, right? So in hemopoiesis we have stem cells, pluripotent stem cells, multiple types of stem cells are there. So broadly these stem cells will take two types of lineages. What are the two lineages? Myeloproliferative or myeloid lineage and lymphoid lineage. So lymphoid lineage will produce lymphocytes, right? So there are two types of lymphocytes. What are those? Small lymphocytes, large lymphocytes. Can you tell me types of small lymphocytes? Helper T cells, cytotoxic T cells, regulatory T cells, memory T cells, and the large lymphocytes, B cells, and the activated B cells are called as plasma cells. Right? Yeah. Then coming to the myeloproliferative lineage, here we have three lineages. They are where is this Keshav and should be? NSS. So will they get attendance for NSS?
DL.
DL, okay. So they are not attending any classes from morning to evening. For past? Yesterday onwards. What is the benefit of NSS? Certificates. Then? Will they get any government jobs? Defense? Okay, we'll see later that. Coming to the myeloproliferative. Fine, see here. So we have colony forming unit erythrocytes that will produce red blood cells. Then we have colony forming unit granulocyte and monocyte. That include granulocyte in I will write here granulocyte and monocyte. Granulocytes include neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, and monocyte, directly monocyte. Then we have one more colony forming unit, megakaryocyte. Megakaryocyte will produce platelets or thrombocytes. Correct. Right? So why I am discussing this? Because now there is a cancers, right? So leukemias. So cancers are of two types. Blood cancers are of two types. Either they can be myeloid leukemias or they can be lymphoid leukemias, right? If this is if the mode of spread of cancer is fast, such cancers are called as acute myeloid leukemia. And if the spread of cancer is slow, then that is called as chronic myeloid leukemia. Same thing for lymphoid also. Acute lymphoid leukemia and chronic lymphoid leukemia. So you already know these basics, right? So then you tell me what tests we can perform to identify leukemias in a patient. So classically we will go with normal tests. First we will perform CBC. Am I correct? So in CBC what test will cover? TWBC, TRBC, DLC will be covered, and platelet count can be covered in CBC. Apart from this you have HB count, and what other lab tests you will perform? If you say PCV, ESR, then peripheral blood smear, PBS, peripheral blood smear, right? Even if everything looks fine, then you will perform other tests, nutritional deficiency tests, nutritional tests. When I say nutritional tests, that are iron assay, PIBC, then you will perform vitamin B12, you will check other hormonal tests, right? Yeah, folic acid, etc. Folic acid, etc. Fine. Then I shared one definition to you in the group. If 3 of the cells reduced, T here TWBC reduced, RBC count reduced, and platelet count also reduced. If all types of white blood cell count reduced, such anemia is called as polycythemia is excessive red blood cells. Any guesses? Yes, you can close. Yeah, everything is called as PAN. Okay, so endemic, epidemic, pandemic. Pandemic means global, right? So if all three types of cells are reduced, such phenomenon is called as anemia is called as pancytopenia. Once I shared actually in the group. Pancytopenia means all three types of blood cells was count was reduced. That is called as pancytopenia. Clear? Yeah, I will connect it with today's test. First you understand these things. Now, let us see one cause probability. We have observed pancytopenia in the patient. All cells are reduced. Never mind other results, but see the CBC. All cells are reduced in CBC. What kind of possibilities? In what conditions all cells will be reduced in the CBC? So, one, aplastic anemia. Yes, that is bone marrow or aplastic anemia. Then second, Fanconi anemia. Again, this is a genetic condition. Fanconi anemia leads to aplastic, complete bone marrow failure. Or any other reason? Bone marrow cancer. Bone marrow cancer. Leukemias. That means leukemias. Right? So, reduced count of all cells might be an indication of cancer also. So, we cannot see simple CBC report giving very much information. This is just a 50 to 100 rupees test, right? Yeah, CBC has a huge value in hematology. Anyway, fine. Now we understood when we performed CBC, we found pancytopenia. The reasons of pancytopenia we need to assess, right? So the golden rule for any lab test or patient investigations will be from cheap test to costly test, or non-invasive to invasive, right? So first we will go with the cheap, easily available test, then we will go for higher test. Simply we got CBC doesn't mean we can opt for a leukemia test, maybe ELISA that will cost around 2000, or a PCR that will cost, cancer PCR means it will be very costly, 12,000. These are costly markers. Maybe even if you are going for the radioimmunoassay, that will be around 3,000 since we are using radioisotopes. All these tests are very costly. Is there any cheap test to identify cancers in the body? Yeah, very good. So now you are saying PBS, peripheral blood smear you took. So you performed a blood smear. There you have identified some blast cells you have identified. Now in the PBS, can you differentiate these two types of anemia? So of course PBS showing some blast cells indicating a leukemia, indicating a cancer. Can you rule out the type of cancer by PBS? Cancer is two types here. It can be a lymphoid leukemia or it can be a myeloid leukemia. Am I correct? Is it possible to differentiate myeloid leukemia or lymphoid leukemia? By a PBS. How? By staining. Yeah. So now you are saying you are using a stain. Very good, Diksha. So she said stain. So maybe you can perform Leishman stain or a Ginsa stain. Okay? You perform Ginsa or Leishman. Leishman or Ginsa, they will only identify the normal cells. The normal cells can be identified by Leishman and Ginsa. I just want to tell one important thing here. I forgot here. What is the meaning of myeloproliferative? Why they say it as a myeloid? Myelo. What is the meaning of myelo? Actually, myelin sheath. Do you know what is myelin sheath means? Myelin sheath present to the neurons. Actually, these cells has some fat globulins. Okay, myelin sheet has a fat membrane, a lipid membrane present in the myelin sheet. Okay, listen. The conclusion was myelo cells have lipids in their cytoplasm. Some lipid bodies are present in the cytoplasm of the myeloproliferative cells, whereas lymphocytes don't have such lipid globulins. Lipid globules are present in myeloid series but not in the lymphoid cells. Now, there is a problem with the lipids. Lipids are hydrophobic. What is the meaning of hydrophobic? Water hating or insoluble. Am I correct? Water insoluble. If that is the case, our Leishman stain is a water soluble stain. It's a water soluble stain. Right? Can you able to identify fat globulins in the cancer cells? We can't, because this is not this cannot stain fats. It is a water soluble stain and they are water insoluble complexes. Got it? Keep in mind, in case of cancer, the amount of fat globulins in the cells will be drastically increased. That too especially in myeloid leukemias. So if we able to identify those fat deposits in those cells, we can catch a myeloid leukemia in the patient just on a peripheral smear. If we make a stain, the stain that can able to dye the fat, that stain will have can able to identify fat deposits. That will be a confirmation for possible leukemia. What my point? Traditionally, we used a stain called MPO stain. MPO stain. Myeloperoxidase stain. And myeloperoxidase stain. This is the old stain we used. Okay, myeloperoxidase stain. I just want to tell you one important thing here. Especially I was targeting a neutrophil because neutrophil is the most abundant type of myeloid cells. If you see there, neutrophils population will be more. Got my point? Now, neutrophils have two types of granules. What are the two types of granules? Acidic and basic. There is a scientist who discovered these granules initially. That scientist's name was Azur. Our Muhammad Azur sir. Are you taking, sir taking classes to you? No, right? Muhammad sir, anyway. These granules are also called as Azur granules. Okay? And the stains we are using to identify these pink and blue granules, also called as Azur granules or acidic or basic granules. The stains are called as Azur stains. Some of the Azur stains are Ginsa, May Grunwald stains. Okay, May Grunwald and Ginsa are Azur stains. Whereas Romanowski stains are Leishman stain. Leishman stain is a Romanowski stain. Okay, so I have introduced a new term, Azur granules. Azur granules means our acidic and basic granules are called as Azur granules. Okay?
Both acidic, basic or only acidic?
Both together. Acidic and basic granules together are called as Azur granules. And MPO stain, myeloperoxidase stain, can able to stain the Azur granules simply. Okay? Hence MPO stain is also called as Azur stain. But MPO cannot detect the fat deposits. This is the limitation of MPO. Myeloperoxidase stain cannot detect the fat deposits. So we need a stain that can able to stain the fat deposits, right? Like alcohol based stains. Alcohol is a lipid solvent. Do you remember? Lipids will be soluble in alcohol. Take a ethanol, take a oil, pour ethanol and oil and pour water. The oil will start emulsified in the water. Got my point? Or you take a cheese hand with cheese, okay, and take some ethanol and you can clean it. You can clean your hands. Or simply coronavirus envelope has a lipid membrane. Coronavirus has a lipid membrane. You take a sanitizer that is having alcohol. Alcohol will destroy the lipid membrane, so COVID will die. That's why we use sanitizers during COVID pandemic, because sanitizers have alcohols. By that, I am introducing something here. To stain a fat, we need an alcohol plus. Another problem with fat is bilipid membrane. Fat has a bilipid phospholipid membrane, if you remember. This membrane is very rigid. This membrane is very tough actually. Tampering this membrane is very tough. That's why we are using membrane damaging components in this stain. These components will damage the membrane. One of the most dangerous such substances are benzene and phenol derivatives. Okay, benzene and phenol derivatives can able to destroy the membrane. Okay, so in my stain they must have phenol derivatives. In my stain they must have some alcohols. Okay, because these two can able to stain a fat deposit. Okay. By the way, I will tell some interesting thing about phenols and benzene. The color of phenols and benzene is black, and the phenols are present in these tiles. During your wearing roads, no, they will burn the tiles, right? All tiles have benzene and phenols actually, and they are carcinogens. You should not inhale the fumes of burning tiles. Okay, they are very carcinogenic. They are very dangerous. By compiling all this information, I hope you understood. We are using a special stain called Sudan black stain that is used to differentiate acute myeloid leukemia from chronic acute lymphoid leukemia. And now you can understand why this stain is in black. The reason is presence of phenols and benzenes. Clear? Then what is the ideal composition of this?
Sir, Roman of the stains are alcohol based.
Yes.
And sir, Sudan stain are oil based.
Not oil based.
Fat based.
Fat doesn't present in Sudan black. It will stain the fat. Yeah. Got it? A usual Romanowski stain cannot stain a fat because normal Romanowski stains don't have phenols, whereas Sudan black has phenol along with the alcohol. He came with a conclusion that Romanowskis have alcohols. That's why he said, but Romanowskis don't have phenols. Phenols are present in Sudan black. Clear? Why Sudan black? Sudan black these phenols will have more affinity to the fats. That's it, right? So the composition between buffers and stain. So together, students, we need to maintain buffers for ideal salinity. Okay. So together, the ratio will be 70 ml buffer containing all these things plus 30 ml Sudan black B dye. So Sudan black B dye will be 30 ml dissolved in the alcohol plus 70 ml of buffer will be the composition of Sudan black B. Okay. Now I will tell few more interesting things about Sudan black. I will draw differences between old stain, that is MPO stain, myeloperoxidase stain with Sudan black B, SBB. Okay, Sudan black B. Sorry, I made a mistake here. SBB, Sudan black B. A normal MPO stain, actually ideally both of them requires fresh blood, fresh anticoagulated blood, whole blood is required. Fresh anticoagulated whole blood is required for both of them. Then second parameter, specimen. What specimen we can use? We can use peripheral blood smear, or we can also use bone marrow for both. Bone marrow specimen can also be used. because we can suspect cancer patient, we will take a bone marrow and we will make a smear. Okay. Then the advantage of SBB over MPO was it can even stay 2 weeks old smear. WEEKS, weeks old smear. If I am taking a old smear, today I prepared the smear and I left it for 2 weeks. Even after 2 weeks, SBB can able to stain it. This is the major advantage over MPO and other stains. It can even stain older specimens. Clear? Yeah. So what will be the results of this stain? You can expect if it is a myeloid cell will have black color deposits. Black color deposits are our fat deposits. Positive for myeloid leukemia. Negative absence of black color deposits indicates negative for myeloid leukemia. Okay. So the purpose of Sudan black B is to differentiate myeloid leukemia from lymphoid leukemia. Keep in mind, this is a hematological application of SBB. This can also be used in microbiology, but don't confuse from micro stain with the hemat stain. Of course, this is a micro stain actually, but we can use micro stain in hemat for the purpose of differentiating AML from ALL by staining the fat deposits. Any more doubts so far? Clear, right? Sudan black B is a fat soluble stain used in hematology for the purpose of differentiating AML from CML, a cheap alternative efficient test. Okay, this is not a final diagnosis. We need to confirm with differential diagnosis, but this can give a clue. Okay, this is not a gold standard, but an approach in the diagnosis. Okay, fine. Do I miss any points? So alcohols are not used in this. Rather than we are using, there is a fixative in this. We are using a fixative in Sudan black. The fixative is 40% formaldehyde. 40% formaldehyde is used as a fixative. 40% formaldehyde used as a fixative. Okay. So that's it. In your reports I have given the picture also of this one. Simply students, in the neutrophils you will see black color granules. See, this is a cancer cell. Okay. In a normal patient, these many granules won't be present. In a myeloid cancer, the amount of granules will be more. So presence of more black color dots is a scary thing. It indicates the patient has some problem. Yeah, ratio will be less. The amount of granules in a healthy patient will be less compared to a leukemic patient, because leukemic patient has an excessive blast cells, and blast cells will have more fat deposits. Yeah, that's the reason. And one more thing, Sudan black we still have a limitation. See, 3% of lymphoid cells will also take Sudan black B, but ratio is very less. Okay, 3% of lymphoid cells will take Sudan black B, but we need to see the ratio between myeloid from lymphoid. So yeah, it can give false positive results. We need to be cautious. Sudan black B still has some limitation, and error of 3% there. Okay, but ideally Sudan black good for myeloid leukemia. Any more doubts? I will conclude these students. There is no perfect single lab test for a single disease. There is no single test for single disease. Nothing. I haven't seen so far. We need to do confirmatory tests. Yes, Miss Christina.
Sir, the MPO stain, you said it's a
Azure stain. Yeah.
and then the Sudan black stain, which one is it? It doesn't fall under the category of as much.
Sudan also an azure stain, but this is a special stain. This will fall under a new category called special stains. So there are special stains actually. Special stains used for special purpose. Okay, this is azure, but it has a specific property of staining fat deposits which is lacking in MPO. Okay,
Alternative of students.
so what?
Alternative of students.
Alternative to?
Sir, for example, there is no student state, so we can use that MCQ state.
Yeah, the alternative to Sudan will be MPO, but MPO is not gold standard. MPO will stain normal cells also.
Any other?
I don't know, maybe we need to search and research.
Sir, same question.
Actually, silver black is a very cheap stain. It is available in all the labs. Yes, mister.
Yeah, just the same question like this. Can we use oil red oak as an alternative for Sudan black?
Oil red dough. Actually, I need to go through the principle of oil red dough. Can it stain here? I need to check it. I can't give an answer. I have to cross confirm.
Use it for fats also. If it's for special stain.
I know oil red will stain fat deposits, but there are various types of fat deposits to my knowledge. Phospholipid fat deposits, then sphingomyelin fat deposits, and there are various types of fat deposits. I have to cross confirm, but this is a good oil stain or fat stain, especially if the fat deposits are inside the cell membrane, I mean in the cytoplasm of a cell. In Congo red, the fat deposits are more like a surface fat deposit, like a adipose tissue. So I need to check it again. Yeah. But anyway, you are on right track. You are thinking to cross confirm other special stains. Where you studied Congo red, by the way?
It's the pathology.
In pathology. Okay, you have special stains in pathology.
Yeah, that's the mistake.
Amyloid deposit can be detected by oil red, I guess. Amyloid is a mix of protein and lipids. That we'll see later, okay? Don't confuse me now. Because if I touch histo, then I will be confused. Okay, clear, right? This stain is clear, right? Yeah. Then get ready for the quiz, then we'll proceed. Yeah.